All right. So, Borderlands voice actor says Gearbox CEO is a bully who harassed, shoved, and humiliated him.
In this week's episode of Damn Randy, You're Fucking Crazy.
What the fuck are you thinking, Randy? All right. So we'll scroll down. The cool thing is now we have this pulled up to where people can read it with us.
Yep.
The former voice actor behind Borderlands' iconic mascot Claptrap, David Eddings, we talked about this last week, has recently spoken out about alleged mistreatment at the hands of Gearbox CEO Randy Pitchford. This is just more development, right?
Yeah, so they're going into more detail about. As it turns out, David Eddings fired under a fit of rage. I didn't know this. I later found out through this article. David Eddings was actually the vice president of business for the company.
Shit.
He had a high up position. They just decided after like him fucking around and like making little voices, it was like, hey, why don't you be the voice for this new game that we're making? It's called Borderlands. And the rest is essentially history.
Right.
The issues is that when he did the voice acting, he wanted to be compensated. Randy Pitchford was just like, fuck you, no.
You're vice president of business.
Yeah, you already make a lot of money, which this is coming from the guy that took the $12 million from Epic Games.
Yeah, he doesn't get shit to say, so
yeah, go fuck off.
Yeah.
But the moving forward with the issue, like the going rate for voice actors, especially at that level, at the AAA level, it's like $400 an hour. So him doing these lines, he had to have put in well over 100, maybe even 200 hours of line work, because they're not gonna. It's not just like, oh, I'm gonna say this line and then I'm done. No,
he's in the whole game.
Okay, no, do it again. I'm talking about each individual line. No, do the line.
Take
again.
47.
Exactly. So there's like a few grand that's owed back to this motherfucker.
Yeah.
But he starts going into the climate of the company and working with Randy. And for example, when he was doing his lines, he was just like, hey, you need to focus on these lines real hard because you know we've been wasting money, wasting tape, so to say. He's like, all right, I got it. Lines. And then Randy just comes out of nowhere and gives fucking wet willy. Freaks David the fuck out and backs up cackling over what happened because he thinks it's so goddamn funny to act like a goddamn 5-year-old.
Are they even friends at that level?
I don't know, but I think it's...
If you're being professional and you're trying to get these lines done, don't fuck with the person.
But that's the thing that they were saying. Randy was known for pulling these types of pranks. It was like you had a big kid running this company, and because he was the top dog, he probably felt like he could do whatever he fucking wanted.
Yeah, that's kind of bullshit.
Yeah. And the big issue is David Eddings found out from a source, allegedly, that Gearbox was in the middle of being bought out. They were selling Gearbox.
Mm-hmm.
And he was just like, I don't know anything about this, and I'm the fucking VP of business. So he goes to GDC 2017. He goes up to, I don't know if it was 2017, but I think he went to GDC. He found Randy, and he was just like, hey, man, I need to talk to you. And they get real close, and he's trying to be quiet and covert about this. He's just like, listen, I found out some information that Gearbox might be being sold. Randy freaks the fuck out. Who the fuck told you?
The minute you freak out, then you've just solidified that it's true.
Who the fuck told you? Because it wasn't the fact that he didn't know. It was the fact that when David found out, and I didn't say this part, but the thing is that David refused to reveal his sources.
He doesn't have to.
You know, I agree with you. But that wasn't good enough for...
The problem is this is classic diversion.
Yeah.
Because Randy was like, who told you? Now this is your fault. I want to know that this is a bigger problem. Like, no, Randy, let's look at the basics. Is this true?
Mm-hmm.
You're not telling me if it's true.
Right.
You're projecting.
But in a series of text messages which have been revealed, and I don't remember the post or if it's in this Newsweek article, Randy goes off on David saying that your priorities and your loyalties are fucked up. How could you? There you go. Yeah. I'm giving you my word, giving you everything without breaking my word, because he maintained that he would not reveal his source. Kill the messenger, you make me sad. And then Randy just blows up on him. saying that his priorities are fucked, that he doesn't have a fucking backbone. I've given you everything, blah, 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 blah. You know what I mean? But the problem is that his wording and phrasing leads him to believe that that Randy knew about the transaction. He just wanted to know who the source was,
because he was gonna like unleash on that source.
Probably.
Yeah.
So with all the other things that are coming out, this toxic work environment, essentially, not long after that, that's when he had the altercation where David got punched. I don't know if he got punched in the face, but they did talk shoved. They did show like bruising on his body, on his torso. So where do we go from here? According to Gearbox, they're saying that they're investigating the situation, but there's key phrasing in the response saying like, you know, Gearbox does not want to make assumptions based on a personal confrontation between two people. That means I believe that Gearbox is trying to distance itself away from the situation without really pointing the finger at Randy Pitchford. So
I don't know, man. This is fucked. Like,
yep.
This is not making him look good at all.
I mean, nothing he does makes him look.
No, the problem is you can't look good if you're a shitty human being.
Exactly. It's like people. It's like the chat said. Put the phone down, Randy. Just go away. Man, just stop. Just stop and pay your fucking voice actor.
Yes. Look. So here, I wanted to go back on that too. Like, let's say, so David Eddings is the VP of business. He's got stipulations. That's what we call that in my company a job criteria. You have a certain amount of things that you are expected to do in your line of work. Anything that falls outside of that needs to be compensated if you do extra work that does not fall in those categories. And I'll tell you right now, in the vice president of business, there is no fucking voice acting clause. I can tell you that right now. There might be something that if you would do anything extra for this company that you might not be compensated, that he would have to agree to when he signed his job description or something like that. But if there is nothing on that, then there is legal action because he did not get compensated for what he did extra for the company. Right. And he should be, and if there was nothing signed upon and agreed upon, then he should get paid according to voice actor rules or according to rules that's the problem. I don't think David Eddings might have set anything. Well, like, hey, if I'm doing this, this isn't just like, hey, I made a funny joke here or there. This is like you said, hundreds of hours. Then they should have set up some kind of business plan or some kind of payout plan that this is what you're going to get paid for an hour and all that. The problem is none of this was done. And there's fault on both sides of this argument, strictly for the payment of the voice acting. The physical assault and the mental assault and all that, that's a different story. But when it comes to the voice acting stuff, there should have been a plan laid out what should have happened.
But has anything come out to say that there wasn't a plan put in place?
No, that's the thing. We don't know.
Yeah.
We don't know. Maybe there was a plan that was put out and it just hasn't been indulged or released yet. So again, shit, this has become a week-to-week story too. So maybe we'll get more information on it next week.
We'll find out next week.
Yeah, that's it. So